Hello there, guys. Welcome to my channel. My name is Leo, and today we're just going to be talking. It's going to be very, very fun. I'm looking forward to this. So today we're going to be talking about my favourite film from last year that I watched. I watched it not once, not twice, but 9 times last year. It may want to keep going back to it. For some specific reason, we're going to get into it. Today we are talking about Dune Part 2. I don't know if that gave it away. Dune Part 2. A behemoth of a film. Masterpiece. A magnum opus. A generational film. There'll probably be nothing ever like it. So before we get into it, please, it would mean a lot to me if you subscribe to my channel. Hopefully I'll keep up with this. I watch a lot of films. I'm working on a video. I don't think it'll ever come out. But basically last year I set myself a goal to watch a film a day. So 365 films in 365 days. And I outdid that. I watched approximately, I think it was like 761 films last year. It just kept going more and more. And I did fail the task because there's one day I missed, which was like the 3rd of January. So I failed straight away. But it was fun. And it widened my outlook on film and everything like that. And it's probably like my favourite thing in the world now. Films mean so much to me. As you can see here, I've got shelves and so much films. I'll do a video on that one day. Like for example, today, just got back from watching Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. And I just copped the 3 Neon Genesis Evangelions, not the newer one because that wasn't there. And then also Pulse, which could probably do a video on that, or Kiyoshi Kurosawa, because he is one of my favourite directors, by far. Anyway, I'll stop waffling. Let's talk about Dune. Okay, so Dune Part 2 isn't just a sequel. It's a cinematic revelation. A film that doesn't just continue the story, but elevates it into something mythic, something else. Denis Villeneuve doesn't just adapt Frank Herbert's work. He brought it to life in a way that feels both ancient and futuristic. There's a difference between epic and big. And Dune Part 2 understands that better than most films. This is a story of politics, betrayal, prophecy and war. But Villeneuve tells it with such precision that it never feels bloated. Every frame is loaded with meaning. A big thing you can go into Dune Part 2 is just how beautiful it looks. I don't think there's any point in the film where you could stop it and go, that doesn't look good. Dune Part 2 is a beautiful film. That's all thanks to Greg Fraser, basically, one of the best cinematographers working today. The cinematography is breathtaking. He captures the vastness of Arrakis with awe, yet finds intimacy in moments of silence. The sheer scale is staggering, and yet the story remains deeply human. It's one of my favourite looking films. It really gets you in there, and you feel like you're there the whole time. You're in this world, you're in this universe, and there's no escaping it. It's all around you. From every little moment, how drastically one can go from the lowest lows to the calmest, and then all the way up to the highest of just craziness, basically. And I think the perfect epitome of that is the final fight between Paul and Feyd-Rautha. It's beautiful. The set, the lighting, the backdrop, the framing of all the characters, the lighting on them, and just the costume designs, the coloration, every single thing in that shot is beautiful. God, it's amazing. I can picture it right now. It's one of the best shots I think I've ever seen in a film ever. And just for Dune Messiah, the next one, it's not going to be Greg Fraser. I think he's going to be doing the Batman Part 2. So we're going to get the cinematographer who did Babylon and La La Land. And so that'll be very, very, very interesting. I think it suits the style of the book better because it gets a bit wild. So I think a cinematographer like that, lots of coloration, will be perfect for Dune Messiah. Timothée Chalamet steps into Paul Atreides with more confidence than ever. He's transformation from reluctant hire to a godlike figure is haunting. Zendaya finally gets the screen time her character deserves, and she delivers. I remember that was a promise with part 1, that Denis Villeneuve said to Zendaya that, listen, you'll only be a little bit for Dune part 1, but just wait for Dune part 2, because your character grows and isn't more. And that's what Florence Pugh's character is going to be like, and I'm pretty sure Anya Taylor-Joy's character, so that's going to be very, very exciting. But the standout, I think, in this film definitely has to go to Austin Butler. Vader Arthur is a monster, disguised as a messiah, charismatic, brutal, and terrifying creature. But Butler brings a kind of chaos that's magnetic. He's a force of nature. I think that was one of my favourite things about watching Dune Part 2. It was just that scene when it just, Vader Arthur's psychotic, and it cuts to Vader Arthur, and you just had no idea what was going to come, and just, wow. Chills down my back. He brings such a... I remember just after that I watched Dune Part 2, I was like, wow, there's no way he didn't get supporting actor, because it's just one of the most interesting character pieces put to screen. I think it's interesting that Vader Arthur in the book is in Dune Part... It should be in Dune Part 1, but I think the choice to just bring him in Dune Part 2 adds a whole lot to his character. So yeah, Vader Arthur, shout out to you. The sound and score is just unreal. Hans Zimmer, again, just producing something special. He's not just composing music in this, he's summoning this atmosphere and this just soundscape that you live in for 2.5 hours. The score of Dune Part 2 isn't just background noise, it's a character. It pulses, it whispers, it screams. It's the sound of a universe in motion, or destiny being forged. It's got loud moments. I mean, just the ending score when Chani's up on the sand dune and everything's building up. Oh my god, I can't remember what that one's called, but we'll play it here. So good, it's amazing. It's just, and shame Hans Zimmer couldn't get chosen for the Oscars because apparently it was too similar to Dune Part 1. I can see that, but there was also Kiss the Ring. That's the name of the song. The score for Kiss the Ring is unreal. But everything. Just the moments where it builds grand, and even the choice to not have any score during that final fight. Just the little things like that make this so special, and so just such an utter spectacle. What makes Dune Part 2 more than a sci-fi epic is how it grapples with power. Paul is not a hero. This is a story about the seduction of a messianic narratives, about the danger of prophecy and the cost of belief. He wants us to question what we're watching, to feel awe and dread in equal measure. Everything from the sound design to the costume work is executed at the highest level. It's just a grand spectacle of all the best in the whole production stages. Just everybody at their A game in this, and you can see it. You can see it. It must have been so fun to film this film because it's just, and probably dangerous because they're in desert so much, but it's everyone at the top of their crafts producing some of the highest level of work you'll ever see, and you don't see that very often. The editing is patient, pacing is confident, Villeneuve trusts his audience. He doesn't spoon-feed the story as well. He builds a world and lets you sink into it. It's the kind of movie that reminds us of what cinemas are capable of. I definitely felt after I watched it the day after opening day, and then I went back to watch it in IMAX, and I went back to watch it in normal, and then I've watched it so many times at home. It's amazing. It's just grand filmmaking at the highest spectacle. I beg anybody who watches it, anybody in the filmmaking process who watched Dune Part 2, sat down and realised, wow, that's what you can make, and that's what needs to be made from now on. Everything just needs to be like Dune Part 2. And I'd like to see it as Denis Villeneuve's magnum opus. It's a spectacle filmmaking, and just, I think it's probably the best sci-fi film ever made. It's everything you need from a sci-fi film and more. And I think it'll be a bookmark for other filmmakers and other people trying to make sci-fi films from now on. They'll look up to Dune Part 2 and they'll see what that did right, and that's what they'll put in the film. Timmy's Foreman stands out to me as something special, something truly powerful and impactful. And I can't help but think no one else on the planet could have embodied Paul better than he has. And I think that's because he was personally chosen by Denis Villeneuve. He was, for Dune Part 1, he was the only person Denis Villeneuve had in mind. And he is Paul Atreides. literally down to a T. But in this film, simply put, Timothée Chalamet's Paul Atreides is something earth-shattering, something awe-inspiring, something generational that you may not ever see for quite some time. It's a cluster of breathtaking sequences that make my body shiver. It's hands down captivating and thrilling from the very start. It's visually mesmerising, its action is breathtaking and dense, its story is perfectly showcased, and its acting on show is indecisively immense. This is hands down one of the greatest sci-fi films ever made, and is a masterpiece of filmmaking from start to finish. There was not a single millisecond of this film wasted, and all of it, and I mean all of it, is perfect. Full stop. I think one thing that stands out to me is just the magnitudinal scale of the film. It's grand, it's astounding, it's literally otherworldly. There's so much things going on, and there's just nothing not amazing about the film. I think one thing to note as well, the entire third act of the film is some of the most breathtaking and goosebump-inducing filmmaking I think I've ever seen. I can't stress enough the intensity of the emotions I feel while watching this. It's truly an experience every single time that I'll cherish forever. It'll probably never get old for me, and that's perfect. One moment that always stands out to me every single time I watch it is when Paul takes the water of life and he goes down the spout to talk to all the Fremen. That scene is just absolutely incredible from every aspect. Acting, story, cinematography, score, just pure passion and craft and literal perfection from all fronts. It's terrifying, yet powerfully beautiful. Paul's speech is simply one of the greatest scenes I've ever come across. The sheer weight Timothée Chalamet was able to deliver such a pivotal scene with unbelievably intense performance is something that I will cherish for a long time. Dune is a tale about the corruption that stems from power, the dangers of faith that can only come from religion, and those who wield it as a weapon, and most importantly, how the common people are those who suffer due to the whims and ambitions of the ruling class. And one thing that I love about Dune Part 2 is how Duke Leto is such an amazing character, and Oscar Isaac plays him amazingly in Dune 1. But he lives on, will forever be there, and he will be honoured, and I love it. There's one downside of the film. One. Is that unphysical, we are missing so much of the frame. There's so much cropped out because the IMAX isn't transferred over to the Blu-rays. Please, that's the one downside. I'll pray. I'll get my hand on it. This is just what we need. We need the IMAX full format on physical because there's so much of them. Every time I see like a screenshot on Twitter of how much we're missing, it makes me die inside. Because... And one key point I've got to make about Dune Part 2 is just how much better it makes Dune Part 1. I loved Dune Part 1 when it came out. I know it was quite in the middle, but when it came out, I fell in love with it. I love them both equally, but Dune Part 2 complements Dune Part 1 so much, and it makes it even more weighted, more impactful. Every time you watch Dune Part 1 now, every moment hits even harder because you know what's going to happen. And that's a feat in itself. Just as simple as a little portrait shots. Part 1 having his hair look like a sacred halo under most light sources, a saviour from the outer world, while Part 2 has a shadow cast down upon his face, his dreaded fate now secured. Villeneuve has packed every frame with care, craft and sticky questions about humanity's thirst to put its faith in false messiahs. This cerebral blockbuster will still be standing tall decades from now, I assure you, when films of this magnitude will no longer exist. I normally choose Part 2 as my favourite because I think it's got such a satisfying revenge arc, the whole film, and putting them two together, but I like to personally look at Part 1 and Part 2 together as one film because that's how it is in the book as well. And if you're looking at it like that, then I think it's the best film ever made because, God, it's just amazing. Both of them. The Fremen and their culture in Dune Part 2 is just such a special thing to watch. All the bursting sandworms, exploding spice harvesters, knife fights, and just all the special culture of the Fremen and all the ways of the desert is just such a pleasure to watch in Dune Part 2. It's done so well, it's crafted with such care. It's amazing. I mean, it's such a key part in the book, so you have to make it important this, but Dune Part 2 really just... It's so special. It's so special. and in the backbone of Do Part 2 is a love story, and I love that so much. The dichotomy between Paul and Chani, and then that just ruthless final shot where Princess Erlan is there stood up, Chani stood up, and Paul stood up in the fight room. Wow, it's so powerful. I remember when I first watched it and I came out, I was so annoyed with Paul. I was like, why? Like, him and Chani were perfect, but it's so powerful. It's so powerful. It's such a truly devastating film from start to finish. Not a minute is wasted. Not a single minute goes unwarranted. It's relentless, and the narrative structure and Denis' pace of play needs to be studied. He takes his time unpacking everything and refuses to hold our hands. Frank Herbert's novel is stuffed with rich detail, and what makes this movie even more brilliant is Denis' commitment to the source material. A novel of this complexity could have easily resulted in a convoluted mess on the big screen. There was not a single millisecond of this film wasted, and all of it, and I mean all of it, is perfect. Full stop. This is hands down one of the greatest sci-fi films ever made, and is a masterpiece of filmmaking from start to finish. There is not a single millisecond that's not absolutely perfect. This is the most quintessential film ever made. Dear Denis, thank you for making Dune. And always remember, and scene. And there we go. That's Dune Part 2 in a nutshell. Probably the most quintessential film ever. If you haven't watched it, please go watch it. Comment down below what your favourite bit about Dune is, what your favourite character is, yeah, your overall thoughts. So I hope you've enjoyed. Go check out this film if you haven't. Listen to them albums if you haven't. And yeah, I hope you've had a good time. Leave a comment down below, like, subscribe. I've had a really good time doing this. Yeah, catch you guys later. Bye bye.
They're knocking now upon your door.